Hey, welcome to Sign New with JW. This is the Sign New number 58, bad guy or gal. So, what I mean by that is when you are in a position within a institution, organization, a company, you're the boss, with your management, something in that aspect. Sometimes, unfortunately, because your coworkers or your employees or someone within that organization, you got to go ahead and be the bad guy or bad gal, and you have to be the individual that holds the line. What I mean by that is, within certain organizations or companies, institutions, whatever it is, there are individuals that have to be the enforcers of rules and regulations. And sometimes, if your employees won't hold themselves accountable, you have to be the one that holds them accountable. And really, when I talk about this, you have to be the one that does what is necessary to ensure that the overall institution, the overall company, the overall workforce is able to move forward in the right ways. Because sometimes, unfortunately, not every employee or coworker or whatever goes and abides by all those rules and regulations. They don't always play the game how it's supposed to be played. They feel that they can do whatever they want to do and do certain things that go against that good order and discipline within your job. Because you got to think about it. It's about the company. It's about the organization or the institution that you're in. Because if it's not about that, there might be something wrong, and there might be a reason that maybe you need to go ahead and leave that. If the values of the company are something that is completely contrary to your values, well, then you've either one, adapted to it, or two, you need to move from it and get away with it. And if there's rules and regulations that company is putting out there, and you just can't abide by them, well, then same thing. You need to move from it, and you need to get out of there and do something else. Never mistake your purpose within that organization, within your profession. If you are in one of those positions where it's your job to be the enforcer, to be the bad guy sometimes, and to hold individuals accountable as necessary. Because not honestly, and this is the thing that I think about all the time, and I've done a video previously about greatness or garbage, and not every individual is meant for greatness, and sometimes you have to be that one that reminds them of that. And hopefully at the end of the day, they realize that, what they're doing is garbage, and they're either going to do two things, and this is, my personal professional opinion when it comes to this, is they're either going to go ahead and realize that, they're not cutting it, and what they're doing is garbage, and how they're acting is garbage, or the product is garbage, whatever it may be, and they're either going to go ahead and fix that, realize that, and adjust and change it, or they're going to go ahead and continue to do what they're doing because they don't want to change, and they don't want to inside make that mental decision to be better, to move towards greatness and away from garbage. And in that, also sometimes when I think about you being the bad guy, and I've done another video about this, but moving away from those individuals that are not helping you in any way, and being the one that might not have as many friends as necessary. It shouldn't be about quantity of friends. It should be about quality of friends, quality of employees, quality of coworkers, quality of bosses. It shouldn't be about the quantity there, because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, the quantity ain't helping. You can have all the friends in the world, and you think that they're your friends, but they're really not. And you have to go ahead and be the bad guy or gal, and kicks one or two of them, if not all of them, to the side, because they're not doing anything for you. They're taking you down with them every time that they do something wrong, or they get in trouble, or they are a not the right representation for your company or your organization, and they don't realize that, and you don't realize that they aren't the right representation either, and you get drug along through that. And that's on you. That's on you, the individual. At the end of the day, you either have to be the bad guy that says, hey, I can't do this, or you have to go ahead and step up to the plate and understand and realize that when you're taken there and you're hanging out with the wrong people, well, then understand and expect that the trouble that they get into is the same trouble that you're going to get into. And if that's you, look, you got to fix it. You got to adjust. And if you're the other, and on the flip side, if you're the individual that's in charge and you're the individual, in management, or you're the individual that is running the company, look, you don't need people like that in your company. You don't need people like that in your organization, and you got to be the bad guy sometimes. Don't try to make friends. It's not about making friends. A lot of us that are in certain organizations and companies, we have a responsibility to the institution overall, to the corporation, to the organization, not to you, the individual, especially when you're not cutting it. And I got no problem, me personally and professionally, I got no problem being the bad guy, And sometimes I got it. Sometimes you might have a problem with that, but you got to realize, look, what is your job? What is your, what are you, one, paid to do? Two, bigger picture. Is that the kind of employees that you want in your organization? Is that the kind of mentality that you want in your organization? Is that the kind of individuals that you want in your organization? And if it's not, look, it's real easy. Let them know. You're not cutting it. It's time for you to go. And if not, if there's no time on there, look, maybe sometimes it's time to fire some people. Maybe it's time to make some, moves. And maybe it's time to adjust necessary, because at the end of the day, those individuals aren't helping out at all. They're only hurting. And they're not just hurting themselves, but they're hurting the overall big picture, the organization, the institution. And sometimes they got to go. It's unfortunate, because sometimes some of those people, those individuals, those coworkers, those employees, they're good people, but they suck at their job. They suck at being, an employee that lives by, specific values. They're good people, but guess what? Look, at the end of the day, good people aren't going to get that corporation where it needs to be. Good people aren't going to get where, the organization is at this level, and they're not the ones that are helping maintain and keep it at that level. You need hard-working, good employees that understand what it is and live by the organizational values and the institutional values that your company and that your profession displays on an everyday basis. They could be, good people on the side, but that's cool. They can go find another job. Because if they're not cutting it in this one, don't be sad. Don't be mad that you got to be the bad guy. Be it. Be it and get rid of them. All right? That is all there is to it. At the end of the day, you don't need them. Because they're not going to make you successful. They're not going to make your organization successful. And at the end of the day, they don't care to be successful themselves. So get rid of them. Until my next video, if you like it, hit like, share. If you got somebody that, you think that might need this little nudge because they're not cutting it and sometimes they're more garbage than they are greatness, share this video with them. Have them watch it. Maybe it'll make them, wake up and realize that they got to do better. And it's not just for the overall company and organization, but at the end of the day, it's for themselves. Do better for for yourself, because if not, you're just going to stay garbage. And there's going to be a bad guy or bad gal out there that realizes that, sees that, and squashes you and gets rid of you, all right? Because you don't belong in their company. You don't belong in their organization. You don't belong anywhere near them, all right? So until my next video, thanks for watching Decide New number 58, Bad Guy / Gal.